You're listening to RTL SA.
Coming to us live from the mother city today, in the midst of my absolute chaotic schoolboy errors in the last 30 seconds. Dave Romero, good morning. How do you do, sir?
Good morning, Noel. I'm great. How are you?
No, my show's been going great until I saw your face, and then I start pressing the wrong
Ah,
buttons, and I don't
oh
understand
my
it.
word! Well, that's not good.
No, I know. It's like weird.
What does it say about my face then?
It's got nothing to do with your face. It's got to do with your background. I'm missing the sea and the mountain.
I'm so sorry. No, it's a bit myth out there. So I thought I'll just do it from the office.
Listen, Dave, I was going to phone you yesterday, and I decided I'm not going to phone you. I decided I'm going to rather take you on air about it, live, without you expecting it, and for everybody to hear. Now, I don't do social media on weekends. All right. So pretty much Friday after my show, I switch off. No Facebook, no Instagram, no nothing. I do everything I need to do before the weekend, and then you don't see me on social media for the weekend. That is great. It's really good. However, what happens is I very often miss birthdays that happen on weekends, because if it wasn't for Facebook, I would know nothing about birthdays. I believe someone had a birthday this weekend.
Oh well, thank you so much. Yeah. I turned 59 on. I turned 59 on Sunday. Yeah, I actually Facebook does help remember birthdays. It would be very difficult to remember everybody's birthday.
I
Everybody
can't.
from Facebook, I must say.
But a very, very happy birthday, Dave. Even though it's belated, we're very excited
Thanks
to
very much,
celebrate it
Noel.
with you
Thank you.
and look forward to the big landmark one next year. Hey.
Wow, I can't believe I'm 59. One more year. I've left my 50s though. I feel even more energized and more alive than my 40s. It's just incredible. It's an incredible journey, and yeah, I've set the groundwork to have an amazing 60 birthday and to rock my 60s. I'm really looking forward to my 60s. I think
Well,
everything I've done in the past has brought me to the point where the impact I'm going to be making in my 60s is going to be phenomenal. So I'm looking forward to it.
well, I'm going to make a commitment to you today on air that should I receive an invite to your 60th, I will be there.
You are invited. Nah, I'm inviting you on air. You are invited. I'm going to have a
Sorted.
serious bash for my
Next
60th.
next year, this time we're going to party hard in Cape Town or wherever you have the party.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Looking forward to that.
Dave, we've got a lot to talk about today. Good news for us in the sense that the fuel price will decrease at midnight tonight. Petrol down 2 Rand 4 cents and diesel between 46 and 56 cents. A lot of people are concerned about the diesel not going down far enough.
Yeah, there was talk. I think the calculations were that it should have gone down by 2.50 Rand. I'm not sure how the experts actually got it wrong. But I'm saying with a smile, we are dealing with government. So sometimes it's very difficult to understand what government does, and it's one of our topics today of our presidente, what he did this weekend.
Yeah, we're going to talk about him now. We're going to talk about it now.
Let's just see if it's quite a drop, which is welcome. Now let's watch food prices. Let's watch them carefully.
But
Let's see if they drop a bit.
This is exactly what I was going to say now. I drive a petrol vehicle, but I wouldn't have been disappointed if I had seen diesel go down 2 Rand and petrol go down by only, say, 1 Rand. I would have actually been okay with that because diesel fuels all the delivery trucks,
Exactly.
the generators, the machinery, everything that goes
Exactly.
into our supply chain. Diesel is actually more
Yeah,
important
so
than petrol.
absolutely correct. So let's just see. Let's just see, because historically, retailers were very quick to up the prices and blame logistic costs as a factor, which is true. I mean, there's no denying. But now the prices have dropped, right? So let's just see. Let's just see. I suspect, and I'm going to stick my neck out here. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see a drop. What they'll
Well,
say, what they'll say though, is that they will hold back in increasing the prices, but they won't drop them.
yeah. I was about to say, we've been on this rodeo before. I mean, it's happened before that we've had decreases and whatever, and we haven't seen anything change in the supply chain. And yet, when the increase comes, then the prices increase accordingly.
Yeah. So let's just see. But I suspect that that's what they'll say. They'll say we're holding back the increases due to the price drop.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see, but it is good news nonetheless. I've got about 20 k's worth of fuel left in my tank, so I will try get through today.
Let's not drive around, eh?
Dave, moving to the UK now. The UK announced yesterday that Liz Truss, their former foreign secretary, will now become the new UK Prime Minister to replace Boris Johnson. How much do you know about her? What do you think about it?
I don't know anything about it, to be frank. But what I've seen from initial reports is that that only 1 in 7 Brits support her. So again, I mean, that's just a stat that came out. But as far as foreign secretary, I mean, she's been around with Brexit, I think.
Yeah.
I think she was there. So I don't know if that's a good measure of a track record. I don't know. I can't offer an opinion. I would have to go and analyze it. She seems very conservative. Again, that could be a bit misleading, but she does seem leaning on the conservative side. But let's just see. But I think it's a welcoming change from the wild.
I loved Boris. I thought he was entertaining. I loved him. But here's the interesting thing.
Okay, but yes, he was entertaining. But you want somebody to run a country that doesn't make you laugh to the extent that it did.
Wait, we're going to talk about our president. We're going to talk about our president Nana, and he makes us laugh as well.
Oh my word!
But I just want to just further to Liz Truss, because obviously I did a bit of research into it because I covered it in the main story today, and the one story I covered today was pretty complimentary towards it, towards her appointment and things like that. Although they did say that she doesn't have the mandate of the English people yet. But I just want to take a step back because looking into it as the foreign secretary, her Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov turned around and actually walked out of a dual press conference with her one day and said it was like talking to a deaf person. And then she went on in another press conference to insult the First Minister of Scotland, and she also insulted the French president. And so she hasn't got a great track record with other foreign leaders when it comes to... and now she's going to take up the main mantle in the UK. With that said, going back to the Conservatives...
Sorry to interrupt you, no. She insulted the French president.
She did.
What did she say?
I can't.
Do you know what she said?
I didn't get all the details. It was just said that she insulted the French president at some point as well. But going back to what you were saying about the Conservatives, she is very conservative, and her main talk at the moment is about taxation to try to repair the economy in the UK as well. And so I'm not sure, quite honestly, listening to what I'm hearing and reading what I'm reading, that she is necessarily the best candidate to take the UK forward.
Be careful now. You're going to have a lot of people on social media trying to attack you because maybe that statement is perceived to be biased because she's a woman.
Not at all.
You know, these days.
Not at all.
I know that, but you know, with this woke madness that's going around in our society these days, anything, you know, you have to be so careful what you say. And so taking gender aside, we'll see how good this prime minister is, and I hope she does well. You know, in fact, let me just even make this statement that the best run countries on the world are run by women prime ministers. Look at New Zealand, look at New Zealand, Sweden, and Finland. They're doing pretty well. So, in fact, so if that is the track record, then I think that should be a good boost for the UK.
You know, now that you mention it as well, talking about all these countries, we talk about Jacinta Ardern and Finland and Sweden, and now also with Liz Truss. Liz Truss is only 47, and all these ladies that are running these countries are all young in comparison to their male counterparts. Do you think that has anything to do with it?
Yeah, I think so. I think that, you know, fresh ideas and new points of view. I mean, New Zealand has been very progressive, and they brought in a wealth measure. A happiness measure. Sorry, not wealth measure. You know, I think countries are measured by their GDPs, right? But there are countries that are starting to bring in measures that measures happiness, how happy their citizens are. And I think that's a better measure than your GDP. And New Zealand is one of those countries that have introduced this kind of measure, which is very, very progressive. Because, as we all know, money in the bank doesn't equate to happiness. Makes life easier, but doesn't bring you happiness. So, their age, has it got a bearing? Probably. Probably. I mean, America's run by 70 what? 9.
70 odd, yeah.
79.
70s, yeah.
78, 79. It's a fucking disaster. You see the clips of it. You forget. I mean, what? You know, can America only produce someone to the extent of this guy as the best candidate to run a country? Oh my word!
No, well, it all starts in America. It all starts at party level. It's not really necessarily about the majority.
Seriously, yeah. I mean, you know, it's interesting to watch the politics, but you have someone. You've had some amazing presidents, and then you have this guy come on. I think he struggles to remember his own name sometimes.
Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started about his predecessor. Because the last two presidents they've had are a bit dodgy.
I mean, as much as I dislike Donald Trump, I think this guy's worse.
Hey, I don't know. I don't know.
I think but I don't know if you actually listened to his latest speech in Philadelphia. It was so divisive. It was just so hectic.
To be honest, it
was really hectic.
To be honest, I think if Donald Trump was still president, America would have been involved in the Russia-Ukraine conflict a long time ago. Maybe even before it started.
Oh, well, I think that if Donald Trump was president at the time, I think Putin would have thought twice before he entered Ukraine the way he did.
Yeah, actually. Fair enough. Good point.
Actually.
Good point.
And now China is seeing that America's got a weak president, and look what they're doing around Taiwan.
Speaking of which, now that you bring up China and Taiwan, Liz Truss is very firm on China and very anti their humanitarian measures and stuff like that. So she's actually got quite a firm stance against China, apparently, as well.
Yeah, and that's good. But how does, if you've got a strong stance about this issue, how does that change things on the ground?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. It really doesn't change the human rights abuses in China. It's not. It's not going to make a difference.
Well, talking about presidents, let's talk about ours for a second. And before we continue to talk about ours, I've got a little video to show everybody. Have a look at this.
Hello there, guys, and welcome to Daily Updates. Well, I'm just here to let you know that Mr. President Ramaphosa has heard our cry about the service delivery, the struggles with potholes, the littering in all our communities. So he has taken upon himself to be the man who's going to fix this. Well, here's Mr. Ramaphosa just showing the masses how to operate the machine. Look at this. Look at the man. You can see a man who doesn't know how to operate a machine from far.
What was that?
Okay.
What was that?
Let's first talk about where this pothole was being fixed. They're pouring tar into a hole on a dirt road.
In Dalmas. No, that's supposed to be an example in Dalmas of good service delivery. Okay. Now, surely, I mean, our president is an intelligent man, okay? Surely he would know you don't put fucking concrete in a bottle with a gravel road. I mean, am I missing? It's in the Sunday Times as well, like all these dignitaries standing around looking all pleased with themselves. I mean, no, are we missing something? Is it? I mean, how can it be that bizarre, though? How is it possible that it's that bizarre that is happening?
Somebody mentioned something which was quite interesting, and I only picked it up when I watched the video. He's wearing an ANC cap, for starters. So he's probably there trying to drive the agenda that the ANC are going to drive this policy. But what they picked up was that he was wearing red gloves, which someone suggested that maybe this has something to do with a coalition effort. Although the EFF came out and slammed him for pouring tar in a hole on a dirt road.
So the red gloves, so, it could be. It's a bit of a stretch, and also it was completely. You shouldn't have worn an ANC hat because it's a government issue, right? It's a government activity that he was telling him. For the EFF to slam it says a lot because they are clowns themselves. So, I would have loved to read his mind, or the advisors, or whoever thought that this was a good idea, and look at them in the eye and say, "Are you out of your mind? Are you you serious? This is what you want to show our population, that this is an example of service delivery. Are you out of your fucking mind?"
Yeah.
Because really, it's just, and it's in the Sunday Times. I really don't know. I really couldn't. They couldn't find a tar road with potholes? Is that, or maybe, again, maybe this is a spin. The aesthetics is, you can, the contrast is more when you actually pouring concrete, tar, which is colored black onto a grayish, no, not a grayish, like a brown surface. So you can clearly see that where the pothole was. I don't know. Maybe
I don't know.
maybe that's the spin.
They
I don't
they
know.
could have come and they could have come and done it out in front of my house, because there's a couple of potholes in my road in front of my house, and they're fairly visible.
I just don't know. No, I really I don't know what to say.
Anyway,
This is
it was
crazy.
a comedic moment nonetheless, and I'm pretty sure that we're going to see a lot more memes and stuff pop up about this as well.
Absolutely.
Dave, today is World Fight Procrastination Day, and I know that you will have a lot to say about fighting procrastination. Me personally, I would talk about it later. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, this is something that I battle with, and I'm not afraid to admit on air. It's something that I have to be conscious that I have a tendency to procrastinate things, and I sometimes upset people because I procrastinate, and it's a battle. And what it is, it's your mind. You have to fight your mind to say, listen, this can wait till tomorrow. And your mind plays these games, and then the mind convinces you, say, well, okay, tomorrow, and then 4 days go by, and then you have to deliver something to somebody, and they phone you, and you haven't done it, and so it's something. I put up a post on social media that I've shifted dramatically since May 2020, and I'm growing at leaps and bounds. But I'm still a work in progress. And this is a bugbear of mine, which I journal, and I look back and I look back, and I'm getting better. But I still procrastinate. And I intend reaching a level of zero procrastination by the end of this month, my birthday month. I've made that promise to myself. But it takes considered effort. First of all, you have to acknowledge that you procrastinate. Secondly, you have to make a decision that you want to change this aspect. Thirdly, you need to pick a date, then by when that's going to happen. And thereafter, you are conscious of any time that you want to procrastinate a particular issue or event. And you will fail still, but then the failures become less and less and less. But it's the fact that there is a day like that across the world means that I'm not the only one that does that.
No,
And
you
I know you
certainly.
share this similar
Yeah,
sentiment to Noel.
One of my thoughts about procrastination is that the best way to combat it is to plan and say, okay, well, my goals for today are this.
Yes. Yeah.
Tackle
Yeah.
them.
It does help. It does help. But we battle with our mind all the time. And I was going to do something yesterday that I planned to do in the afternoon, and late afternoon. And my son had bought me a bottle of champagne, and my mind told me, listen, I mean, you didn't drink it yesterday, your birthday, then maybe we should have it now. And I did. And I didn't do what I'd supposed to have done.
I wouldn't call
And I
that
planned
procrastination.
It was in my diary.
I wouldn't call that procrastination at all. I would call that prioritization.
I like that. I'll remember that. I like that, my dog. I'll remember that.
Nothing wrong with birthday champagne to take it.
I
to take
thought
preference
not.
over
Yeah,
anything.
but now I have to do today,
Oh, Dave. We just got messages coming through on YouTube as well. Tons of people wishing you happy birthday. Amanda, Lauren,
Oh,
a couple of
thanks very
others
much.
as well.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
So, Dave, it's time to kick procrastination in the butt and get into the question today.
Now, you forgot to wish me happy birthday on Sunday, so I would expect you to be nice to me today with a question.
Well, fortunately for you, I am being nice. Then it's not a movie question at all. It's also
Thank
not
you.
geography. It's also not science. It's actually quite an easy question regarding food.
Okay. Food, okay.
Okay. It's quite easy.
Okay.
So let me just push this button quickly.
The right one.
Time to test your knowledge with Power Play Trivia.
Your Power Play Trivia brought to you by Bev Miller today. Dave, the question is, what is the culinary term for according to the menu? What is the culinary term for according to the menu?
A la carte.
As easy as that. Happy birthday.
I've had 3 in a row now. I've had 3 in a row. Yes.
Yeah, it is 3 in a row, although there is a question mark above the 1 2 weeks ago, but we'll accept it.
What?
I can't
No,
remember.
you give it to me. No, you can't do that. You can't give it out, take it away. What the hell is
okay.
that?
The past is the past. It's 3 in a row for you. Well done, Dave.
By the way, I chink.
Dave, have an excellent week, and we'll catch up with you again next week, Tuesday.
Thanks, all.
A la carte means on the menu, with each dish separately priced. In restaurants, a la carte is the practice of ordering individual dishes from a menu in a restaurant, as opposed to table d'hôte, where a set menu is offered. It is an early 19th century loan from French meaning, according to the menu.
All right, and aside from Dave, I got correct answers from Lauren, Marius, Bev, Cheryl, and Amanda as well. There we go. We'll be back next week Tuesday with Tuesday Talks. Dave will be joining us. And you can, of course, catch the replay of today's Tuesday Talks on Facebook, on the RTLSA Facebook page, as well as YouTube after the show.
You're listening to RTL SA.